This is the broke my heart murder trial for Latoshia Daniels. Court's going to start up at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. This woman is accused of first-degree murder in the shooting of a pastor named Brodes Perry and the attempted murder of Perry's wife, Tabitha, back in April of 2019. The Perrys were living in Collierville, Tennessee, and they reportedly knew Daniels when they all lived in Arkansas. Court TV's Julia Janae has more.
Not only have we experienced the death of Brodes Perry to violence.
On April 4th, 2019, police respond to a shooting about 30 minutes east of Memphis. Once they arrived, they found Pastor Brodes Perry with several gunshot wounds and his wife Tabitha shot in the left shoulder.
The rumors swelling around his murder leave us shocked and shaken.
New information tonight at 5. The Arkansas woman accused of shooting a Memphis pastor to death was back in court this morning. Latoshia Daniels is charged with shooting and killing Brodes Perry, the executive pastor at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church, and injuring his wife in their Collierville apartment last April. Daniels pleaded not guilty and will remain in jail until her next court appearance in mid-November.
I hate what happened. I'm so very sorry. I never wanted to hurt anybody. I've spent most of my life helping. I never would intentionally try to hurt anybody.
You broke my heart. Those were the 4 words that Latoshia Daniels said before she shot Pastor Brodes Perry. She'd spent the last 3 years cooking for him, paying off his debts, and believing that he'd eventually be with her. She was a specialist who helped people control their anger. But on April 4th, 2019, she forgot every lesson she'd ever taught. But how did things escalate this far? And what exactly was her relationship with Pastor Brodes Perry? Before we get too deep, hit the like button, share your take in the comment, and tap subscribe with the bell so you never miss the next episode of Deranged Mind. Latoshia Daniels was 39 years old and had a doctorate in social work with a criminal justice concentration. She was a licensed clinical social worker who ran a practice at a company called the Root Behavioral Health in Little Rock, Arkansas. Her specialty was anger management and counseling. Latoshia had been married twice. Her first marriage ended because of infidelity. So when her second marriage started falling apart for the same reason, she went looking for help. In 2016, she made an appointment with a pastor at St. Mark Baptist Church in Little Rock for counseling. Pastor Brodes Perry was 36 years old. His grandfather preached, his father preached, and now Brodes was carrying on that third-generation family legacy. He worked at St. Mark Baptist Church running the couple's ministry. His job was helping married people navigate faithfulness issues, communication problems, and how to keep their commitments.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's also interesting to take note of is Jesus' response. Come in. He only uses 3 little words. When the devil starts coming at him, he doesn't get upset. When the devil starts coming at him, he doesn't get frustrated.
He'd been married to Tabitha Perry for 5 years. According to Latoshia's testimony, Pastor Perry kissed her during that first counseling session. And from that moment, their affair started and the relationship lasted 3 years.
As I was talking and sharing, Brodes reached over and grabbed, I had a 2-arm chair, and he pulled me toward him and began to passionately kiss me. And from there, in that session, we did have sex for the first time.
Were you proud of that encounter?
In hindsight, no, but at that time, he was giving me everything that I had been missing for a long time.
Latoshia saw Brodes nearly every day. She'd cook for him and bring the food to his church office. Sometimes he'd come to her workplace for lunch. He even knew the code to her office so he could walk in whenever he wanted. They went to lounges together, spent time at hotels, and she bought him gifts.
How would you describe y'all's relationship at the beginning?
At the beginning, it was, I'm gonna have to say, amazing. I felt beautiful. He showed me so much attention. We did all kind of things together. It was I mean, like, even we gelled intellectually. It was a great relationship.
Everything that you didn't have before?
Everything I didn't have before, even to the fact I show up in my office and he had me a dozen of roses sent to me. It was just like everything that I wanted, everything that I even shared with him that I didn't have, he was giving it to me.
Did you also give him things?
I did.
What kind of things did Brodus like?
As the relationship progressed, he got into cigars, and that was a big thing for him, to the point to where he had someone to draw him up a logo, and then I selected the name, so he became the Smoking Savant. And so the more expensive the cigar, the better for him. Then it went from cigars to bourbon, and he had to have the best of the bourbons.
Did you buy him the best of the bourbons?
Yes, I did.
Did you buy him the best of cigars?
I did.
But the thing is, Latasha knew he was married. She'd met his wife, Tabitha. And according to her, she and Tabitha played tennis together multiple times. Even though she was uncomfortable being around Tabitha, she did it anyway because she didn't want to lose Broads.
How did you feel about the fact that Brodus was married?
At that time, honestly, I did not think about it. I knew that we both were married, and I was engaged in what he was giving me.
Had you had any attention like that in a long time?
No, I hadn't.
Had
In
you
years.
had any emotional attention?
Not in years.
At one point, Broads had misused a church credit card. The debt was $2,500. Latasha paid off $2,300 of it. And when she couldn't cover the last $200, he got upset with her.
Point, did a situation arise where you had to pay back money to the church for Brodus?
Yes.
How much was that?
The debt was $2,500, but I ended up getting him $2,300, and he got very upset with me about it.
Why did he get upset with you about it?
Because he wanted me to do the full price.
And that was not your debt, right?
No.
During this time, Broads was reportedly involved in something he called ethical non-monogamy. He joined a Marco Polo group where members discussed open relationships and having multiple partners. He had rules for the women he dated. They had to be out of town. Not in Jacksonville where he was from or in Little Rock where he lived. Latasha wasn't part of that Marco Polo group. But according to her testimony, Broads pressured her to accept him seeing other women. When she refused to go along with it, he'd withdraw, stop being affectionate, and pull away emotionally. When she went along with what he wanted, he'd come back. He knew what made her feel secure and what made her feel abandoned. And he used that.
Told me to download a app for us to be able to communicate. That app was called Confide.
Tell the jury what the Confide app did.
The Confide app, it's whenever you would send a message, and when you read that message, it would disappear. You couldn't screenshot it or anything like that. It would immediately disappear once you took your finger off the screen.
Did Brodus teach you how to use that app?
As we continued the app, it was probably maybe a week or two later, he found out that if you had, like, other people had your phone number in your phone and they had that app, then they could see you on it. So he had me to change my name on it and also change the way that I attached it to my account. So I went from having my phone number to coming up with a email address. So I made a new email address to be able to attach it that nobody else had.
And he taught you what all you needed to do for that app to do that?
Correct.
So that it could not be traceable back to you?
Correct.
And he did that all very quickly?
Yes.
Did he have, or was it almost a rule? Was it a rule that you had to use that app to talk to him?
Most definitely. That was our main form of communication. As the relationship went on, if he wanted to use a different form of communication, like an email or maybe even direct messaging, he would then tell me, go to this platform or go to that one. But it was not, if I was to reach out to him without him reaching out to me first, I had to use a Confide app.
Did he set any other rules for your relationship?
Yes. As far as it came to trips that he wanted me to go on with him, I was the one who had to pay my way as far as airfare or travel, and then he would, you know, his words would, he would then take care of the rest, meaning that I would have somewhere to stay.
In 2018, Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church in Memphis offered Broads an executive pastor position. Larger congregation, higher salary, more visibility. So he accepted it. Before Broads left St. Mark Baptist Church, Latoshia organized 2 going-away parties for him. One at a lounge and the other at the church. Paying for most of the gifts. From her account, Broads told her how to reach out to other church members and ask for monetary gifts so he'd have extra money when he left. And she did exactly that.
I planned a going-away party. Actually, he had 2. He had one at the Cigar Lounge and then one for the church.
Who planned the party at the Cigar Lounge?
I did.
Who planned the party at the church?
I did.
Who paid for the majority of the gifts?
I did. And then he gave me a backstory on how to be able to elicit money from the other members of the church so that he could have a certain amount of money for when he left.
What do you mean?
Like it was, hey, reach out to the life groups and tell them, you know, I'm going away and we're going to do monetary gifts. So that's what I did.
Did he get monetary gifts from that?
He did.
After that, Broads and Tabitha moved to Memphis, while Latoshia stayed in Little Rock. But the relationship didn't end. According to her, Broads would return to Little Rock for orthodontist appointments and to meet with a consulting client. When he came back to town, he'd contact Latoshia and they'd meet at hotels. On February 14, 2019, Broads posted a Valentine's Day message to Tabitha on Facebook. The post read, "Thank you for navigating this thing called life with me. Happy 5th anniversary." Latoshia saw that post and she didn't like it. For 3 years she'd been cooking his lunch almost every single day, paying off his debts, planning his parties, playing tennis with his wife. And here he was posting anniversary tributes online like she didn't exist. In March 2019, Latoshia testified about an encounter at a hotel. She described a situation where Broads treated her in ways that made her feel deeply uncomfortable, disrespected, and used. Afterward, he turned away and went to sleep without speaking to her. The next morning, he left without a word.
The first time I went to the hotel, it was, you know, just a drop off. He had asked me to bring him, to go buy him something to eat and to stop by and get him some bourbon. After I brought that to him, we made an agreement to meet up later on. I had called him and as it was getting later and say, hey, what time are we going to meet up? And he was just like, I don't know, I'll let you know. But he never called. So I was at home and I was like, I'm just gonna break up with him. Like I'm not gonna do this treatment. Like no. I went to the lounge. I still had some gifts to give him, and he was coming out, and I said, unlock your car, and I started putting the gifts in. Well, once he got closer to me, he just hugged me and gave me the key to the room and was like, go to the room. So I was like, okay, and I did.
Once he hugged you, was it all better?
It was.
Is that kind of how it went with Broads?
Yes.
So tell me about what happened after that.
That was one of the times that I still had my clothes on. So of course, when he got in there, he's like, why you still got clothes on? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got undressed. I did tell him, I said, I was coming to break up with you because of the way you're treating me. And he laughed it off and was like, well, why didn't you? And I was like, because you know I really do love you. He came over to the bed, started tickling me. We laughed it off. And then as we began to engage in what I thought was gonna be love making was not that night.
Can you tell me what happened?
As I was performing oral sex on him, he began to thrust himself inside my mouth really hard. And I told him that was hurting. Then he grabbed my hair. I had long hair, and he wrapped my hair around his hand and he started yanking it. And when he wasn't thrusting himself in my mouth, he was pulling my hair really hard. And with his other hand, he would just hit me and hit me and hit me. And I was like, it's hurting. And he was like, you better not bite me. You better not bite me. And then after that, we had sex, and it was just rough, and it was hard, and it was just not what I was used to. And then once we finished, something he never ever does was he rolled over and just gave me the cold shoulder. And I was like, you're not gonna hold me? And he was like, no, and just went to sleep.
How did that make you feel?
I felt so used.
Did that affect you emotionally?
Yes. I was just like, what has always happened to me?
Did you decide anything when you were in that emotional state?
A few weeks after that, Latosha showed up at a hotel where Broads was staying. She had a firearm with her, and according to her testimony, she told Broads that she felt she couldn't keep up with it. But Broads talked her into giving in. After that incident, Latosha went to stay with a friend in Pine Bluff, Arkansas for several days. But even after all of that, the relationship continued. On April 4, 2019, Latosha was at home in Little Rock when she reportedly got a text from Broads. It was a disappearing message which said, "I think our time is up." That afternoon at 3:14 p.m., Latosha wrote a letter to her family. She dated it April 4, 2019. The letter talked about the emotional struggles she'd been dealing with, how she'd been fighting to keep things together for a long time, and how she felt like she'd let everyone down. In court, she read parts of that letter out loud. She left the note on her phone because she knew her younger sister would find it. After writing that letter, Latosha left home and drove to get a weapon from a store in Sherwood, Arkansas. After that, she got in her car, stopped at an ATM and withdrew whatever money she could and went home briefly. According to her testimony, her plan was to go to a park in Jacksonville, Arkansas, about a 20-minute drive. But as she was driving, she saw the Memphis exit and drove toward Memphis. While she was driving, Broads texted her telling her he still loved her. She decided she needed to see him face to face. She needed to understand why he ended their relationship after everything. The drive from Little Rock to Memphis took about 2.5 hours. When she got to Memphis, she contacted Broads, and he told her to meet him at a lounge downtown called The Pocket. According to her testimony, she walked toward the lounge and saw Broads coming out, but she walked past him. Now, she allegedly wasn't supposed to approach him in public because he might be with another woman or with his wife. So she could only speak to him if he acknowledged her first. He called out to her and they talked for a while. Then she brought up what they'd been avoiding for 3 years, telling Tabitha about the affair. Broads had always promised they'd tell his wife eventually when the timing was better, but it never was. According to Latosha's testimony, Broads agreed this time. He told her to drive to his apartment in Collierville, where he'd meet her and they'd tell Tabitha together. He had to go to his boss's house first to drop something off, but stated that he'd come home after that. He said to tell Tabitha that she was there for a conference. Latosha drove to Meridian Park Apartments in Collierville. When she arrived, she called Broads. According to her testimony, she told him she was nervous and asked if they would just go somewhere and talk instead. But he said no. Latosha got out of the car. The weapon was still in the pocket of her coat that she was wearing, but she didn't think much of it. The two women sat in the living room and talked for about 30 minutes while waiting for Broads to get home. Tabitha had no idea why Latosha was really there. When Broads walked through the door, Latosha expected him to tell the truth, to explain to Tabitha that they'd been involved for 3 years. But he didn't. Broads reportedly acted like nothing was wrong, like this was a normal visit from an old church friend. He sat about a foot or two away from her, made comments about her drinking, and said she'd probably have to stay the night. Latosha kept looking at him, trying to get him to follow through on what he'd promised at the lounge. But he wouldn't make eye contact. After about 10 minutes, Latosha stood up and told them she was leaving. Broads and Tabitha got up and walked with her toward the door. Latosha asked Broads if he'd walk her out, as she wanted one more chance to ask him what happened. But he refused. Tabitha opened the door and was walking out with Latosha, who was still trying to get Broads to come outside. And then, according to her, she reached into her pockets to get her keys. In between those moments, Latosha pulled out the weapon from her pocket and fired multiple times. According to the reports, Latosha said, "You broke my heart," while doing that. Broads was hit while Tabitha ran outside to get help. Then Latosha fired again. This time, Tabitha got hit.
We'll show the suicide letter is exhibit 22.
Latosha, can you tell me the date and time of that letter?
April 4th, 2019 at 3:14 p.m.
Can you read that letter to the jury?
To my family, I'm sorry that I have let you down. I tried my best to be the person you all thought I was. I tried to be the person you could count on and be proud of. However, I have been depressed for a long time. I did well with coping until the past 2 years. My world changed February 24th, 2017. And the shit just keeps getting worse. I know what I have been through may be nothing to some. And you don't understand why I couldn't bounce back. I have fought hard for so long to keep things together. I didn't trust anyone to know deep down how bad I was struggling. Only a few people knew, but they couldn't help me. To my fellas, I'm so sorry that I have let you down. I have fought hard to be the best mother I could be to each of you. I pray that what I have taught you will stick with you forever. Please don't be ashamed of me. Mother, thank you for being my mother. Please know that although you didn't think I loved you, I really did. I wanted so badly for us to be close. There was many times I just wanted to crawl into your arms and have you hold me. I'm sorry for being a failure. I tried to make you proud of me. Words can't explain or express the pain I feel at this moment. I have pretended for so long to be happy. I have tried to work through the pain and begin to heal, but just as my life would have it, yet another loss appears to remind me just how much of a failure I am. I don't have any insurance and I don't have any money, so please just have me cremated and don't worry about a service. I don't want to be a burden. I'm sorry for letting all you down. I love you all so much, and I wish I could live myself as much as I wish I could love myself as much as I love you all. Please take care of my fellas and always remind them of my love for them. I'm not being selfish. I just don't know how. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. This got out of hand, but it says, I'm sorry for letting all of you down, and I love you all so much. I wish I could love myself as much as I love you all. Please take care of my fellows and always remind them of my love for them. I'm not being selfish. I just don't know how to continue bearing the pain I have felt for over 25 years of my life. With each loss, hurt, disappointment, etc. I've experienced through the years, it only added to my current state of mind. I thought I could continue to push through and be strong, the strong Tasha everyone know, but I can't. I'm weak, and I have been for over the past year and a half. I thought I would bounce back. I prayed consistently, but I guess God no longer hears my prayers since I wasn't doing His will. I'm not perfect. I've messed up so many times in my life. The thing I wanted to be the most successful in, I messed up not once but twice. Well, really 3 times. I will leave that for you all to find in my journal.
You wrote that at 3:14 p.m.
Yes.
Where did you leave that?
I left it in my phone because I knew my little sister would find it because she helped me with my appointments. And that's the phone she used for making my appointments.
Did you leave it for her to find?
Yes.
What did you do after you wrote that note?
I drove to Sherwood to go purchase a gun
Why did you go purchase a gun?
because I didn't have my other one.
What was the purpose of the gun?
I wanted to end my life, and I felt like that was going to be the best way to do it.
When you went to that store, were you buying a gun to kill yourself, or were you buying a gun to kill someone else?
I was buying a gun to kill myself. I had a whole plan.
What was your plan?
I didn't want to do it at my house because my son lived with me. So I decided, as I was just thinking about all the pain, to go to this park in Jacksonville, Arkansas.
How far away from Little Rock was that park?
Jacksonville might be about a 20-minute drive from my home. And the reason why I chose that was because that's where Brodus was. He wasn't from Jacksonville, Arkansas, but the Jacksonville part of it was attached to him. And the name of the park was Johnson Park, which was attached to my second ex-husband. And then Ray Road, my daddy's middle name was Ray, so I just associated with all the pain from the men in my life, and so that's where I was gonna go.
How did you go there?
I was gonna drive in my car. It's from my home, it would have been straight down 440.
Is that an interstate?
Yes.
What happened while you were driving to Johnson Park?
As I was driving, I saw the Memphis exit. And so then I was like, go talk to him, Tasha. Just go let him see you. Go see why. And that's what I did. I just drove so I can see him face to face and hope that I can get something from him besides the fact that he broke up with me with a disappearing text. And as I was driving, he did text me, and as he was telling me that he still loved me. So I was trying to just figure out what was going on.
What did you do after you saw the Memphis exit?
I took it and I drove to Memphis.
Where did you go?
I went down to where I knew he would possibly be, which was a lounge. I guess it's in the downtown Memphis area called The Pocket. At the time, I think it was a fairly new lounge that he, when he got employment at Mississippi Boulevard, one of the members there had told him about.
Did you go to The Pocket because Brodus told you he goes to The Pocket on Thursdays?
Yes.
Do you remember what time you arrived?
I don't. I just know it was dark, and I know that I circled around for approximately 30 minutes trying to find a parking spot because I didn't know that you couldn't like park on the street. That everything down there was paid.
Just to back up for a second, when you went to the gun store to buy the gun to kill yourself, what did you take with you?
Just my license and my debit card.
Where was your purse?
I guess I had left it at home.
Did you bring just necessities with you to the gun store?
Yes.
And you left the gun store right after you finished purchasing the gun, right?
Yes.
How did you select the gun?
I went with what was the cheapest that was on. They have a wall that has all the guns, the names, and the prices, and I just chose the cheapest one.
How did you select ammunition?
Whatever the guy told me to get, I got it. Because I was about to walk out the store till he was like, do you need ammunition? I was like, oh yeah. And so he told me whatever he recommended, I was like, yes.
And did you see on the video where he was showing you different types of ammunition?
Yes.
Is that what he was saying?
Right. And I told you couldn't hear, but I was like, I don't know. Just whatever you tell me.
When you left the gun store, what did you do with the gun?
I think it was still in the bag. I went home because I did wanted to leave my son something. So I had stopped at the ATM and got out whatever money I could get. And so when I got home, I put that in his room, and then I changed clothes, and I dumped some bullets out on the bed and just grabbed a handful of them and took the gun and left the house.
What did you do with the handful of bullets on the gun?
Once I got in my car, because I was trying to hurry up and leave because I didn't want him to come home while I was there, I loaded the gun in my car. And once whatever was left over, I put everything into my coat pocket that was sitting in the passenger seat.
Now, when you parked downtown, where did you go?
I started walking in the direction in which I knew the lounge was. And once I got on the street, I started walking up the street, and I actually saw Brodus coming out of the lounge, and I walked past him.
Were there any rules in your relationship regarding how to behave when you saw him in public?
Yes, I was not to approach him because I never knew who he may have in his company, so I was not to approach him, but if he acknowledged me, then I could have, talk to him.
Did you come within his sight?
Yes.
Did he acknowledge you?
Yes.
You actually walked right.
I walked past him, and so he said, so you're just gonna walk past me and not say anything?
At that point in time, did y'all engage in a conversation?
Yes.
After you talked with Brodus, what did y'all figure out?
Well, we decided that because his thing was I still wasn't wanted to be on board with him and this non-monogamy and have been able to see other women. So we came to I told him, well, we still haven't told Tab. You've always said something about telling Tab, so we haven't told Tabitha. And he said, okay, we'll tell Tabitha. He told me to go to the apartment and just talk to her about tenants until he got there, and that once he was there, we would tell her. He had to go to his boss house to drop off something. And so he gave me a backstory as to what to tell her if she asked me while I was in town, and we left. But before leaving, we came to the resolve that once we told Tabitha about the relationship, we had a trip that was planned to go. We was going to Kentucky. If she said yes, then that would be a new start, a fresh start. But if she said no, then that would be the trip that we would end.
Did Brodus indicate to you that he was going to tell Tabitha while y'all were at the apartment
Yes.
about your relationship?
Yes.
And what would have happened, or would you have been allowed to tell Tabitha without his okay?
I didn't know.
What, would you have been able to continue a relationship with Brodus if you had done that?
No.
So I want to talk to you then about when you left downtown, okay? Mm-hmm. Where did you go?
I put in the address that he had given me, and so that address did say Collierville. I didn't know how far away it was or anything. I just placed it in the GPS.
Do you remember what time you arrived at the apartment?
I know it was late. I just remember when we were there and we were talking, I remember the news coming on.
Probably around 9 o'clock?
Yes.
So you left Little Rock, Arkansas at approximately 5 o'clock, right? And drove to downtown Memphis, right?
Yes.
That takes about 2.5 hours?
Yes.
How long would you say that you were talking with Brodus?
We talked for a while because I remember the valet pulling the car up a ways and getting out, and just because he was sitting in there waiting on him and we never did, so he just pulled it up and we continued to talk.
So then you left downtown, it was dark,
Yes.
drove to Collierville.
Yes.
What did you do when you arrived at the apartment?
I circled around because I couldn't, it was dark and I really couldn't see like numbers or anything. So I circled around, and then I guess eventually I found the building number, and I parked and found my way to their apartment according to the address.
If I may just have one moment, Your Honor. This is part of Exhibit 12. Latasha, is that your car?
Yes.
Is this also a photograph of your vehicle?
Yes.
Which vehicle is yours in that picture?
The silver one?
This one?
Yes.
While you were sitting in your car, did you call Brodus?
I did, and I shared with him that I was a little nervous and could we just go somewhere and talk, and he said no, we're going, you wanted to talk to Tabitha. We're going to talk to her.
Did he answer every time you called him?
I didn't call him a lot, but I did that night.
Before you walked inside, was there a time you called him and he didn't answer?
No,
Okay, not that you recall?
not to recall.
After you had talked to him and he said, no, we're gonna do this, what did you do?
I went to the apartment and knocked on the door.
Were you wearing your coat?
Yes.
When did you put on your coat?
When I got out of the car to go to find him at the lounge.
Is that when you were walking around downtown at night by yourself?
Yes.
Did you ever take your coat off after leaving downtown?
No.
When you left downtown, how would you describe your feelings?
I was a little hopeful. I was like, okay, maybe, we can get some resolve. We can get back to normal. And so that's what I was focused on.
And when he insisted on telling Tabitha, did you get even more hope?
Yes.
So what did you do? Did you get out of your car?
Yes, I got out of my car.
Were you still wearing your jacket?
Yes.
Did it register to you that you had a gun in your pocket?
It did not.
Did you go to the apartment?
I did.
What did you do when you got to the door?
I knocked on the door. And I can't remember, but I ended up bending down. And that's when she said, I'm not going to open the door for someone I don't see. And so I knocked again. And that's when she was like, Tasha, is that you?
What do you mean you bent down?
I don't know if I couldn't remember if it was time or sure or something. I just remember bending down, which is why she didn't see me when I knocked the first time.
You just don't remember?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Who answered the door?
Tabitha.
What did she do when she answered the door?
She once she opened it, she embraced me and said hello and welcomed me in.
Did you go inside?
I did.
Where did you go when you went inside?
She positioned for me to toward the couch, and she sat on one end and I sat on the other.
And that would be Your Honor, if I may put this is part of the cumulative exhibit. Is this the couch that you're referring to?
Yes.
And you were seated on this side?
I was.
And Tabitha was seated on this side?
Yes.
Did you talk to Tabitha?
Yes, we talked. We talked about tennis, but right before we kind of got into the tennis talk, she had made a phone call to Brodus.
And what did she say to him?
She told him, she asked how long it was going to be before he got there. And then she told him she had a surprise for him.
When Tabitha let you into the apartment, did she close the door behind you?
Yes.
You and Tabitha were sitting alone in the apartment with a closed door, right?
Yes.
Would anybody outside of the apartment have been able to see in through that door?
No.
How long did you sit talking with Tabitha?
Again, I know the news ended up coming on, so maybe 15 minutes or so.
At any point, did you pull your gun out and threaten Tabitha?
No.
At any point, did you verbally threaten Tabitha?
No.
At any point, were you trying to hurt Tabitha?
Not at all.
Were you happy to be there about to have this conversation with Tabitha?
Yes.
Was Brodus there yet?
No.
Now, I want to talk to you about when Brodus Perry arrived, okay?
Okay.
When he walked in the door, could you see him?
Yes.
Can you describe his demeanor when he saw you?
When he came in, he didn't look surprised or anything, which is what I thought he would do since he knew I was going to be there. But he was just like, I think Tab was like, surprise. And he was like, this is not a surprise. I thought you had some keto cookies for me. And from there, And he was like, "What are you doing here?" And then I went with the story again that I was in town for a conference. And we just kind of started engaging in small talk. He came and sat beside me. And then after about a minute or so, was like, "Would you like a pour?"
What is a pour?
A pour is some bourbon.
Did you accept the pour of bourbon?
I did.
Where was Brodus seated?
He was approximately a foot or two from me.
I'm putting back up from the cumulative exhibit.
That blue chair?
This blue chair right
Yes.
here? And you were seated here?
Yes.
And Tabitha was still seated here?
Yes.
After you accepted the pour of bourbon from him, did he make any comments about you drinking?
He came back and sat down, and as we were talking, he would make references to me drinking and would say, "Well, I think you're gonna have to stay the night." So I'm thinking, okay, well, this is about to get into this conversation. But he never would give me eye contact. But he would continue to make, it's like, we have to clean out the bed in there because it has a lot of clothes on it. And, but I'm still looking at him to get, like, to see where are you going with this. But he never did lead into the conversation. He actually started asking me questions like, "So where are you staying in Memphis?" And I'm like, "That wasn't part of what you told me you was gonna say." So I don't know Memphis. He knows I didn't know Memphis. And so I didn't know what to say. I finally said an Airbnb. And then Tabitha was like, "Where?" And I was like, "Downtown." And then that conversation ended. And he continued to say something about me staying the night, but never going into the conversation of what we were supposed to be talking about.
Had you ever been into that apartment before?
No.
On April the 4th, when you were there, what part of the apartment did you go into?
I walked through the front door, which led into a small little hallway and right into their kitchen area.
And then into the living room?
And then into, yes.
Did you go into any bedroom?
No.
Your Honor, this is part of the cumulative exhibit 13. Did you ever go into the guest bedroom?
I did not.
What is all over the bed in the guest bedroom?
Clothes?
Had you seen that?
No.
But those are the clothes Brodus was talking about?
Yes.
When he was talking about clearing off the bed, you sleeping over, did you think that was his jumping off point to talk to Tabitha?
I thought so.
How were you feeling at that point?
Very nervous.
Were you also excited?
I think I was more nervous because I just didn't know which way it was going to go, but hopeful.
At some point, you lost hope.
Yes.
And you said you were going to leave.
Yes.
Why did you decide to leave?
I saw that it wasn't going anywhere. Like I said, he was not giving me eye contact. So I knew, or I felt like he had changed his mind. And I just didn't want to keep sitting there feeling, at that point, stupid.
What happened after you said you were going to leave?
Tabitha got up, he got up, and so she began to tell me about watching for the police, you know, because I had been drinking.
Had you drank a lot?
No, not at all. But she still was just letting me know. And she began to walk toward the door. And I asked him, would he walk me out? He said no. And I said, why not, sir? That's Southern hospitality for you to walk a woman outside when it's dark. Because I wanted to just get him to see like what happened. Why didn't you follow through? but he refused to walk me out. So Tabitha opened the door and was walking out. I was still trying to get him to walk me out. And as I reached into my pockets to get my keys, I remember being outside the door, and then the next thing I was standing in their kitchen.
Do you deny that you shot Brodus Perry?
I do not.
Do you deny that you shot Tabitha?
I don't, but I know it wasn't intentional.
Did you mean to shoot Tabitha?
No, I wasn't trying to hurt anybody.
When you went to that apartment that day, did you intend to use your gun on either Brodus or Tabitha?
No.
When you went there, what was your purpose in going there?
Thinking that I was gonna get some kind of ending to the relationship.
And what do you mean?
Like, okay, of course, after I got to, talking to him at the lounge, we had a plan. It was either going to be a start or an ending, but it was something that I could see, like I knew it wasn't just a disappearing text, but still, I love you, So I went to the apartment, I guess, for lack of a better word, to get some resolve.
Did you have hope, given that Tabitha was open to the open marriage?
I was nervous about that because, like I said, he had told me she had these rules about not nobody that you know and things like that. So I'm like, she knows me, so I don't know what that was gonna be like. I didn't even think about anything beyond that.
As far as Tabitha goes, this is a person that you became friendly with, right?
Correct.
How did you balance that with having an affair with her husband?
It was very hard. She, like, we started off, she had approached me to invite me to lunch. It came out of nowhere, and I didn't know, like, what was really going on, because by this time, Brodus had been talking about us being sister wives, and so when she asked me, I was a little confused, because I'm like, okay, has he talked to her about it? But she never said anything about our relationship. Even when we began to play tennis, it was her who initiated it. So it was uncomfortable for me, but we were friendly. And it was hard, but I still did it because I wasn't going to tell her, because I love Brodus.
When Brodus told you that he wouldn't walk you outside, he said, Tab will do it. How did that make you feel?
Rejected. Unworthy. Stupid. I was so stupid. And it hurt so bad.
Were you angry or were you hurt?
I was hurt.
Were you thinking clearly when you pulled the trigger?
No.
Were you reacting to that situation?
Yes.
Was that a traumatic situation for you too, in retrospect?
Oh, yes. I hate what happened. I'm so very sorry. I never wanted to hurt anybody. I've spent most of my life helping. I never would intentionally try to hurt anybody.
Did you ever plan to kill Brodus Perry?
Never.
When you drove to Memphis, were you driving to Memphis to kill Brodus Perry?
No.
Why did you drive to Memphis?
I drove because I just wanted to see him.
Why?
I wanted him to explain why he did that.
Did you hope he would say, we can be together?
Yes.
Did he give you that hope when you went to the apartment?
He did.
Did he yank that hope away?
He did. As he often did.
Did you break in that moment?
I shattered.
Did you ever intend to hurt Tabitha?
No,
Did you even realize that you had shot her?
no.
That's all I have.
Cross-examination.
Ms. Daniels, I'm going to take you back to April 4th, 2019 at around 4 o'clock. You remember yesterday when we introduced that surveillance footage of you at the gun store, right?
Yes. Yes,
And you know that that was you in the gun store.
that was me.
And you purchased a gun that day.
I did.
And you also purchased ammunition that day.
I did.
And when you went to that gun store, you brought your state-issued ID, correct?
Yes,
And you brought your credit card, correct?
I did.
And once you left with that gun and the ammunition, you didn't go to Jacksonville, did you?
No,
You drove to Memphis,
no. I drove home.
but you eventually ended up in Memphis, did you not?
That is correct.
And you chose to go see Brodus Perry, correct?
Yes, I chose to go see him.
A man that you chose to be involved with.
When I first encountered Mr. Perry for counseling, I did not choose to be with him. I went to him for direction, not a relationship.
It's a yes or no question. You chose to be involved with him after you met him, did you not?
Yes,
And when you got to Memphis, and after you talked to Mr. Perry, you drove to his apartment, correct?
yes, I drove to his apartment.
And from Sherman, Arkansas to Memphis, it's about a 3-hour drive, right?
According to what has been said, I wasn't counting.
And when you got to that apartment, you talked to Mrs. Perry.
Yes,
And when you got to that apartment, you stayed there and you talked with her for about 20 minutes. Correct?
yes, we talked for about 20 minutes.
And then once Mr. Perry got there, you talked to him.
Yes,
And while they were gracious enough to walk you out of their apartment after an unexpected visit, you got your gun out, didn't you?
it wasn't unexpected for him.
But for Miss Perry, it was.
It was.
And after you exited, you decided to take your gun out, correct?
No,
And after you exited, you shot Mrs. Perry, did you not?
my
Yes or no?
actions resulted in them being shot, yes.
And then you shot Mr. Perry, did you not?
It wasn't a conscious decision, but yes.
But you didn't do it because you lost control. You did it because you thought he deserved it.
No, I love Brodus. I would have never intentionally hurt him. No, ma'am.
You did it because he broke your heart.
No, ma'am.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Were you in a good state of mind that day?
I was not. I was not.
All day?
I was not my healthy self. No.
When you came to Memphis, did you come to Memphis out of anger or out of love?
I came out of love.
Did Brodus expect you to be there when he walked in?
Yes.
Did that visit go the way that you expected it?
It did not.
Did it end the way you expected it to?
It most definitely did not.
Did you go there to hurt anyone?
No, I did not.
Who did you plan to hurt
I
that
wanted
day?
to hurt myself. I wanted to end my own life that day. That's it, and that's all.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Police arrived at Meridian Park Apartments around 10:20 p.m. When they got there, Brodus was on the living room floor while Tabitha had made it outside with neighbors helping her. Latosha was still inside, so officers took her into custody. Brodus was rushed to the hospital, but he didn't survive. Latosha tried to run but was tackled by the officers. So she had 3 more charges of assault on officers, attempted escape and resisting arrest in addition to the initial charges. She was taken to jail and held without bond. By May 2019, Latosha had a preliminary hearing scheduled. Tabitha was supposed to testify about what happened that night, but the defense waived the hearing. So the case went straight to a grand jury. Tabitha didn't have to take the stand at that point. The case was on for years. Then in November 2025, the trial began. The prosecution argued that this was premeditated. They presented surveillance footage from the store, showed the timeline, the breakup text, and argued that everything Latosha did that day showed intent. The defense argued that the pastor used his counseling role to start a relationship with a vulnerable woman and exploited that, pointing to her credentials and her career. Then Latosha took the stand. For hours she answered questions. How the relationship started and what Rhodes had told her. The jury heard Tabitha testify, and they deliberated for several hours before reaching a verdict. She was found guilty of the second-degree charges, and the judge set sentencing for December 17, 2025.
I'm sorry, counsel, we've got the wrong one. We need the waiver, bond over order, and minimum, okay? Yes, they are, I'm sorry. And it would be helpful also to have the docket number on each of them. Sorry, we just like the paperwork to be correct. They have, you may have a short, brief, yes, to give it a sign.
Now, do you want the charges listed?
We need to list them all. On docket number 19, ending 4009, those charges would be murder in the first degree, criminal attempt, misdemeanor, and possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. On docket number 19, ending 3940, that would be aggravated assault on a police officer, escape.
What makes someone stay in a situation like that? Latosha had 2 failed marriages because of infidelity, yet she became the person on the other side of it. She was a woman who counseled people on anger management, but couldn't handle hers that day. And Rhodes was a man who stood in the pulpit teaching people how to be faithful, how to honor their commitments and resist temptation. Yet he met her in a counseling session and started cheating on his wife with her. Why did neither of them walk away when they had the chance? She had a career, a son, and a life she'd built. He had a wife, a congregation, and a legacy. Yet they both traded it for something that ended badly. Remember, danger can wear a friendly face. Stay aware, look out for others, and reach out if you need help. See you in the next case on Deranged Mind. Thanks for watching.
Tell me what was the things that you guys thought about when you made that decision.
There was so much of this story that only Latasha could tell. The police only had so much information, and Tabitha Perry did not have a lot of this information. So there was all of these gaps that there was no explanation for, that Latasha had to be the one to fill in for the jury. But also, she wanted to tell her story to this jury. She wanted them to understand how she felt when this was happening. And that's why we did push for that voluntary manslaughter and the reckless endangerment, because she was under such emotional distress when this happened that she was not thinking clearly.
When you go to sentencing, will you push the fact that she has no criminal record and try and see if you can get, I think it carries 15 to 25 years, will you try and push for the lower end of that due to no criminal record in the past?
Absolutely. So second-degree murder in Tennessee has, for someone with no prior criminal history, has two potential ranges of punishment. There's a mitigated range that carries 13.5 years, and then there is a standard range one offender for someone with no prior felonies. That carries 15 to 25 years. We will absolutely be arguing that a woman who is 46 years old and has absolutely no criminal history and has done so much to try to better those around her. While she was incarcerated, she wrote a book for incarcerated mothers. She wrote a book for the children of incarcerated mothers. She has lived her life trying to help people. What happened on April the 4th of 2019 was not the actions that ever would have happened with Latoshia Daniels if she was not in that state of distress.
And how is she feeling? I know you guys have probably been able to talk to her. How is she feeling right now?
I mean, go ahead.
I think she's a little bit in shock. I think she's struggling with the idea that she's going to probably have to spend at least another decade in prison. But I think she also understands that, you know, this happened for a reason, and the way she handled her previous incarceration, I think she's going to be fine.
Could that prior prison time count towards?
Oh, absolutely. Whatever jail time she had, jail credit she had built up, that'll count toward the ultimate sentence she'll receive in Division 2.
I know you weren't the original attorney on this, but since you've worked with it, what has it been like as you've worked through it, what you've discovered? Has it been like peeling back an onion, or when you got it, was it really already mostly there? The evidence and the proof.
So like I said, this has been a very unique type of case that we talked to the jury about that day one, in that there's actually a disparity of information in our favor in this case, which is very, very unusual. So a lot of the discovery was not disputed information. Where the dispute came was from the mental state, and that could only come from Latasha.
I think the other big point that needs to be emphasized here is, you know, a lot of times in our society we only view abuse as physical. And in this case, this really highlighted the mental abuse that she went through with this person that took advantage of her. I mean, he was supposed to be her therapist, and he knew her deepest, darkest secrets, and he used that against her, especially with her being a person that had prior mental health issues.
Attorney Horn, I arrived late and I apologize if this has been asked. Has she spoken to the pastor's wife since the shooting? And if so, what was that conversation like?
I don't think she's ever...
She wouldn't have been legally allowed to. There would have been bond conditions and other court order prohibitions against contact.
Has she expressed any interest in reaching out to her and apologizing or having a conversation with her?
I think that's something that probably will be addressed at sentencing, and just knowing Latasha, getting to know her and the person that she is, I'm almost 99% sure that she will write a letter or make statements to Tabitha about her actions and apologizing for her actions. Because even in their banter back and forth, she was she didn't want to shoot her. She never meant to shoot her, and she was shocked. I think Tabitha was shocked when she was shot.
And Latasha has been genuinely remorseful in all of our communications with her, not just as to Tabitha, but even as to Brodus. This is a weight that she carries every day.
Is she getting mental health therapy in jail, and do you think that therapy is adequate?
She's been out of custody. She has been getting mental health help, and I know that I'm confident that she will continue to get mental health help, and I hope that they offer adequate services, but we won't know until time shows.
How much time did she spend in jail before the trial?
About 4 years. So she's got a little time under her belt.
Will that count toward the sentence?
Yes.
Time served, you think?
No.
It will count as jail credit, but that will not cover the range of exposure.